There are voices in this world that speak loudly, yet carry no authority. And then there are whispers buried beneath the bones of your spirit. Whispers older than memory itself. You have heard them before, not with the ears, but with that ancient chamber inside you that still remembers who you were before the world taught you fear. You were never designed to crawl endlessly through valleys begging for fragments of worth. No, your soul carries the architecture of something sovereign. For years, you mistook your isolation for abandonment. But the Mountain Hermit does not retreat because he is weak. He withdraws because elevation requires distance from noise. And while others fought for applause beneath the crowded fires of men, you were being carved by the unseen. Every silence became an altar. Every rejection became a gate. Every lonely season became a hidden corridor leading upward through celestial stone. You thought life had forgotten you. But primordial purpose does not forget its vessel. The mountain knew your footstep.
The climb was never gentle. There were nights when the cold inside your spirit felt heavier than the world itself. Nights where even hope seemed too exhausted to speak. You watched lesser fires burn brighter than your own. You watched hollow voices gain kingdoms while your truth remained buried beneath stone. And still, you endured. That is what the weak misunderstand about sacred endurance. It is not passive. It is war conducted in silence. The Mountain Hermit learns quickly that shadows are not enemies. They are instructors. The darkness strips illusion from the eyes. It crushes dependency. It exposes every false anchor hidden inside the heart. There were moments you almost descended. Moments where compromise looked merciful. Moments where pretending would have been easier than remaining whole. But something ancient restrained you. An unseen hand held your spirit together while storms hammered the cliffs of your becoming. You were not being denied. You were being fortified. Because abundance given to an unstable soul becomes destruction. Power given to an unanchored mind becomes corruption. So heaven concealed you.
Then came the turning. Not dramatic, not loud, no thunder split the sky, no crowds gathered to announce it. The shift happened quietly, like dawn entering a forgotten temple. One morning, you stopped asking the world for permission to exist. You stopped bargaining with people who could only recognize masks. You stopped shrinking sacred parts of yourself just to remain acceptable to broken systems. And in that moment, your chains lost their authority. The Mountain Hermit finally understood something most souls never discover. Peace is not weakness. Stillness is not failure. Silence is not emptiness. These are instruments of sovereignty. You realized your value was never tied to productivity, performance, or public recognition. The unseen had already validated your existence long before human eyes witnessed it. That realization altered everything. Because once a soul becomes anchored internally, external chaos loses its power to dictate identity. Now, you move differently.
slower, cleaner, with gravity. You no longer chase doors. You recognize which ones were always meant to open. You no longer hunger for crowds. You seek alignment. And strangely, provision begins arriving before desperation. Opportunities emerge without force. Peace settles where anxiety once ruled. Why? Because the mountain only reveals its hidden paths to those who stop running blindly through the fog. And at last, you have stopped running. Authority is not loud. The ocean crashes. The storm screams. But mountains remain still. That is mastery. The world taught you that power was dominance, visibility, endless motion. But the ancient ones understood differently. True authority comes from internal order. The Mountain Hermit does not waste energy proving himself to passing travelers. He becomes immovable. And now, you are entering that sacred territory. You have survived enough disappointment to stop fearing delay. You have walked through enough fire to recognize that suffering either fractures the spirit or tempers it into something celestial. You were tempered. This is why your presence unsettles people now. Not because you speak loudly, but because your silence carries weight. You no longer vibrate with desperation. You no longer leak the hunger of unfinished identity. There is an unseen steadiness forming around you, like stone pillars beneath an ancient sanctuary. And heaven responds to steadiness. Because only grounded souls can carry lasting overflow without becoming consumed by it. The climb changed you. What once wounded you now instructs you. What once drained you now reveals discernment. What once broke your heart now sharpened your vision. You are no longer surviving the mountain. You are becoming part of it. And from this height, you finally understand. The weight was never empty. The weight was initiation.
So hear this clearly. The season of begging the world to recognize your worth is ending. You were never born to survive on crumbs of validation. You were never meant to bend your soul into shapes that abandon truth. You are being called into something far greater now. Not performance, presence, not striving, alignment, not noise, authority. The Mountain Hermit reaches the summit and discovers a terrifying revelation. The treasure was never outside him. It was the transformation itself. Every wound purified your vision. Every lonely valley strengthened your anchor. Every silent battle awakened forgotten dimensions within your spirit. And now, the unseen begins responding to you differently. Doors open without violence. Peace arrives without explanation. Provision flows without humiliation. Not because you manipulated reality, but because you finally became congruent with your deepest truth. This is the reward of the anchored soul. So stand taller now. Speak with
intention. Walk with